Hello, you wonderful people. So yesterday at the time of me recording this, Ubisoft had their, I guess it's considered a conference, Ubisoft Forward, and one of the games they announced was a Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake, which I thought was pretty dope. If you haven't seen the trailer for it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below, but obviously I just wanted, to take this, video just to kind of talk about it. If you're unaware, I am a fan of the Prince of Persia series. I've only played, obviously, the Sands of Time trilogy, which includes, well, The Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and I want to say the third one, it's been a while, it's called End of Two Thrones, if I'm not mistaken. The last Prince of Persia I played was the 2008 reboot, which I always was so bummed they never did more with that, because obviously I like the art style of it, but also like the direction they were taking with that, and obviously it's a very different Prince than the one you get in the Sands of Time trilogy, but that was like 12 years ago, so it's super unlikely anything ever happening after that, because there were Prince of Persia games afterwards, because I want to say the one after that was the Forgotten Sands, because it's basically a game that takes place in between Sands of Time and Warrior Within, if I remember correctly. But regardless, but like I said, just based on what we saw from the trailer and just them talking about it, talked about like obviously some of the combat and stuff like that being modified and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be interesting. But just from what we saw, it looked kind of like almost like a one-for-one remake type of situation. But regardless, I'm curious to see what extra stuff they add in there. Maybe it's just my imagination, because it's been a very, very long time since I've played the Sands of Time. It feels like from what they were showing, it seemed like there might be more sections with Farah, because I did forget that there are times when the Prince and Farah do end up kind of fighting side by side. I'm wondering if we're going to get more of that, maybe a little bit more backstory. But like I said, just from what I was seeing and from what I can remember, it did seem more like a one-for-one. But I mean, who knows? Like I said, I'm curious to see all the changes they made. Obviously, we have Yuri Lowenthal back as the Prince, which is pretty dope. I'm not sure if it's the same actress who played Farah back in the day as well. But obviously, that, like I said, this was an earlier 2000s game, so now obviously with new technology and everything, they're mocapping it and everything, which we got a little behind the scenes look at that as well, so that was all pretty dope. I am surprised they're not remaking the entire trilogy, only the Sands of Time, but maybe it's like, hey, depending on how well this game does, we might decide to do the other two as well. I'd really love to see what they would do with like, what was it, End of Two Thrones, just because like I think it might be my favorite. I know a lot of people are kind of mixed on two, because two is actually the only one I never beat. I beat the Sands of Time and I beat the third one, but I never beat Warrior Within. But I'd still love to see both of those games, as well, get remade. But like I said, it also depends on like, how well, I guess, this remake of Sands of Time does. Some people were kind of suggesting, kind of similar to the whole Crash and Spyro situation, this could be their way to test like whether people would want it or not. So maybe this could be the pathway to getting a new Prince of Persia. If they did, it'd probably be like a completely new reboot as well. Like, once again, I want them to continue the 2008 one, but it's like, that's super unlikely at this point in time. Once again, it's been 12 years at this point in time, so that seems unlikely. So we'd get like a new, I'd be curious to see if they did kind of reboot it again, like where they would take it. I honestly wouldn't know what I would want from like a new Prince of Persia. Would it be like a new Prince of Persia, continuing that? Because it's been, once again, it's been so long since I played the Sands of Time trilogy as a whole. I don't remember where the story left off, if there was room for more, so, I mean, I said reboot earlier, but I mean, it still could be a reboot, but would it be a continuation reboot, or would it just be a completely fresh story, much like the 2008 one? I don't know. I've been curious. Obviously, these are my thoughts. I'd love to get to know yours in the comments down below. Are you excited for this Sands of Time remake? Would you be, excited for the other two games getting remade as well? And also, if there is potentially a new Prince of Persia down the line, would you want it to be a continuation, like I said, if the story allowed for it, or would you want it to be a completely fresh start? I mean, what would you want from a new Prince of Persia game in general, altogether? Just let me know all your thoughts. Really, that's all I want to talk about. Until the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.